We're doing a playthrough of our game, Timelancers. It's a 4-player game, but we're only gonna play a 2-player game. It's gonna be Lee versus me. I think I'm gonna beat him, but we'll find out. Now we have the board already set up. You can set up the board any way you want within the area of the player mat. However, you have to follow the rules in the rule book. So 6 tiles have to be touching the headquarters, and then every tile has to be touching at least 2 different tiles. But you can make it as crazy as you want. Now you can rearrange the tiles in any kind of particular order you want, or flip them on the other side. They are double-sided. However, I like this particular shape for beginners, so you should go with this for your first game. The next thing that you're gonna look at is you have your time machines. I am Kylin, so I'm the red character. I'm gonna be player 2. Lee is Laran, he's the yellow character, he's player 1. That's signified by the gold hourglass in front of him. Player 1 gets 5 coins and 1 time gem. Player 2 gets 5 coins and 2 time gems. Player 3 and 4 would also get other items as well. The other thing you'll look at are the faction cards. These are your goals for the game. So I am Sohem, so I need to revise 1 cultural, revise 1 military, revise 1 science, and I need to repeat 2 socials. Lee?
I'm the Quanticis, or at least that's my faction, and I have to do repeat 2 cultural, revise 1 military, 1 science, and revise 1 social event.
So the goal of the game is to complete your faction cards. That starts the end game. Any player who hasn't taken a turn that round will also get to finish their turn, but that's pretty much how you end the game. The other way to do it is to fill up your time machine with all 9 events. The events are now going to be laid out face up. So each event, so we have science is going to get 3 cards face up. And then you're going to have cultural, 3 cards face up. Social, 3 cards face up, and military, 3 cards face up. So these are the pool of cards that every player will be looking at that they can go back in time and revise while they're face up. The next thing that we're going to do is each player will be dealt 2 side jobs. You're going to start with 2, you're going to choose 1 and discard the other. These are hidden tasks that you will keep from the other players that you can then achieve throughout the game. Thank you. That you can achieve throughout the game to get extra points. So the other players won't know your full score until you get to the end of the game, depending on what your side jobs are. Now, I really like both of these, but I think this one will get me more points. So I'm going to go with this one. Discard that for me, please. Thank you. The next part of setup are the enforcers. In the game, the enforcers are going around trying to hunt down the Timelancers because time travel is illegal. However, in the first round, they're not out yet, but you just gotta see where they're going. In every round, you gotta know where they're gonna end up, so you don't wanna end your turn on that spot. So in round 1, there aren't any enforcers, but you don't wanna end your turn on the telecoms or on the archives. Lee can end his turn there, I don't care. He'll end up having to skip a turn if you're on that spot, and then you're trapped for a round. So you don't want to end up there when you're playing. When the enforcers do come out, then they will block that city tile and nobody can go to that city tile for that round. So we're all pretty much all set up here. The last thing that we need to do is we need to reserve an event. Anybody can go after the events that are face up. That could mean that if I'm going after one thing and Lee gets it before me, then I can no longer get that. But if you reserve an event, then you can be the only player who can go after that event. And at the start of the game, every player is going to start off with a reserved event. You're going to start with the last player and go to the first player. I'm player 2, so I'm going to pick first. So you can pick any of the events. I'm going to go with the Battle of Hastings. I'm going to go with this one, the Middle Age Military event. I'm going to reset this so Lee has a full pool to look at and he can choose which one he wants to reserve.
So as you can see, the events are very unique, but what I'm focusing on are the abilities that I get. So some of them are more like when you land there, you get it, and some are like perpetual abilities or constant abilities. So I like focusing, or I like to see what's out there that I might want to pair with my faction card just to see. And it kind of gives me a little bit of direction on what to do in the very beginning. So I think I'll go with Alexander the Great rules Macedonia. So keep that in my back pocket.
Okay, then we're gonna refill that. And then that's pretty much the setup. And then each player is gonna take a turn in each round. You get 3 moves on your turn. Once everyone has taken a turn, then you go on to the next round, and that's when the enforcers move to their new location. So we're gonna start the game, and Lee's gonna go first. And he lost already, good game.
So let's see. All right, so Okay, let's see. First turn, I'm going to the armory. I'm going to pay $1 and get 2 guns or 2 weapons. And I'm going to just put them on these little spots on my player board just so I can keep track. I'll go to the bank and get $2. And then I will go to surveillance because that's the only place I can go. I can't double back in the same turn or the same round. So surveillance, I'll pay $3 and I'll get 2 cameras.
So all the city tiles are double-sided and they will flip as history gets revised. They have similar abilities. Some are, one side is better than the other. So for example, on the tailor, it's $1 for 2 disguises. On the other side, I know that it's $1 for 1 disguise. All the other sides are the little small squares, so you can always see what's on the other side to remind you. That's a good ability right now. I see that a lot of the cards require disguises, so that's where I'm going to start my path. I'm going to do the tailor. I'm going to pay $1 to get 2 disguises. And then now there's not a whole lot else with resources. I could get a med kit, but I think I like the surveillance. So I'm going to get over there by going to the laboratories. Right now it's transport to any city tile. So we have transportation in this future right now. So I'm going to go to the lab and then transport to the surveillance. That's all one move. So 1, 2, I take that action, I pay the 3. I can go on the same city tile as another player. I just can't end my turn as on that city tile. So I couldn't end on the surveillance, but I can make a stop there. So on my second move, I go to surveillance, I get the 2 cameras, because that's, even though it's expensive, it's $3, it's still 2 cameras, which is going to be helpful for me. And then I can get $2 and go to the bank like Lee did and refill my money. Go to the archives. No, I don't want to go to the archives, actually, because the archives are going to be covered, so I don't want to go to the archives. So I'm going to go to the armory, pay my last $1. I'm spending all my money now, and I'm getting 2 guns. So now I'm out of money, but I have lots of resources. So I'm feeling pretty confident about the path that I took that first round. So that's both of our moves at the end of the first round. So now the enforcers are coming out. First one is going to telecoms, so now that's blocking the path that way. And the archives. The next round, they will go to the capital and to the engineer. So moving there to the next round. You will see that on these cards, they have 2 colors. That means that the city tile is a different color on each side. So there are 2 city tiles. One side is red, one side is yellow, and another city tile, one side is blue, and one side is green. And it's these 2 cards.
All right, so now that the enforcers are on the map, they kind of limit your options, and you really I gotta really think about, okay, really I can go a path that way or go around that way, so let's go this way. So I'm gonna go to the courthouse. This one lets me reset event cards. So looking at the different event cards, I was already eyeing green over here because my faction wants me to do greens, and so far what I'm looking at, I'm not too thrilled with it, so I'm going to go ahead and reset these.
Good thing I didn't want any of those, Lee.
Oh, sorry. All right, so Michelangelo, the Moai are created on Easter Island, and the Taj Mahal. So those, I'm liking those a little bit better now. So, okay. I can't backtrack. I can only go here now. So the market, I get to turn in 1 resource to get 2. So I'm going to turn in a camera to get 2 communicators. And then my third turn, only 1 spot. So $1 for 2 time gems. The time gems are important because that's how we go into our time machine and do the events in order to capture events to go back in time.
Okay, so I am going to go to Timelancer headquarters and get 1 time gem. And now I am going to show you how the time travel works in Timelancers. So from Timelancer headquarters, you can go to your time machine. That's the only way you can get to your time machine. You go in and out of the city through Timelancer headquarters to your time machine. So 1 move to there. And now I am going to revise a Middle Ages event. So this spot right here, I'm revising a Middle Ages event, which is going to cost me 3 time gems. Just like Lee mentioned, you need time gems to time travel. I need 3, 1, 2, 3. I fill up the spots. All the spots tell you how much each spot costs. This is nothing. This is 4. The spot I'm on is 3. I'm going to revise this event. It will cost me 2 guns. So I put the guns there, and it will cost me 1 disguise, and it'll cost me 1 camera. I have all of that, so I'm good to go. Turn in the resources. Turn in the time gems that I paid. And I'm revising this event. So it's a Middle Ages event. I can put it anywhere in my time machine, down here, wherever, but it has to be in chronological order. So as I get more events, I may end up having to shift this around. So I'm gonna put it in the middle, hoping that my modern events will go down here, my ancient events will go down here. So I'm gonna start right about there. And I'm gonna get $5 for this event. So always remember to get your money because you can't do anything else without money. So money is very important. And because I revised the event, if I had any other red cards, I'd have to look and possibly flip them. Or if Lee had any red cards, he may have to flip them. But right now, it's the first event. So we're only gonna flip the city tiles. Anytime you revise history, you're always gonna flip the city tiles and match it. So this is a military event. So we're gonna flip the military city tiles in here. So they all flip over, and as you can see, they have similar abilities. So instead of $1 for 2 guns, it's $1 for 1 gun. Instead of 1 med kit, it's 2 med kit. And because I revised this event, I met my first goal, which means that I am now in the lead. Third move, back into headquarters. Now, in the city, you can't double back. Like Lee was saying earlier, you can't go back to the same tile you were just on. However, you can go between Timelancer headquarters and your time machine because you think of it like your time machine is in Timelancer headquarters. So you're getting in your time machine, and then you're getting out of your time machine, and you're getting in your time machine, but you're still in the same building of Timelancer headquarters. And you always get the time gem anytime you go on the Timelancer headquarters city tile. So I got my 1 time gem, I got my money. I think I'm 1, 2, 3 good with my moves for the second round. So now the enforcers will move to the engineer and to the capital, which does kind of block Lee a little bit. So I do like that. And the laboratories and the surveillance are the next 2 city tiles that the enforcers will go to. Now round 3, and it's Lee's turn.
So he's kind of taking the lead because he has an event now. He's a quarter of the way closer to endgame, if you want to look at, kind of based on this. So it's always good to kind of keep this updated so all the players know where we're standing and, if the end game's approaching sooner or later. So when he revised that, I did like how the hospital switched, and now I could get more med kits if I go there. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to take this path though. I'm going to go through Timelancer headquarters and get a time gem. I'm going to go to the laboratories, which transports me to the hospital. So I'll get my 2 med kits.
And that's 1 move. The lab to the hospital is 1 move.
And then that was move number 2. So my 3rd move, I can either go to locksmith or go to tailor. So I'll go to tailor, and I'll pay my $1 to get 2. Pay $1, and now my chest here, my resource chest, is getting kind of full. I'm at 9 right now, and there's a max of 10.
Okay, well, I'm still feeling like a lot of the events need disguises. So I'm going to go here and say hi to Lee again. Hey, Lee, how's it going?
Hey, watch out. There's enforcers next door.
They can't catch me.
Oh, never mind. Then go in there then.
All right, $1 for that. And then I want to go back to the armory. So I'm going to go to the lab first and transport as 1 move. Even though it's not 2 guns, I still need the 1 gun, so I have to do it, even though it's not as good of a deal. So I'm going to get 1 gun. And then I'm going to go back to Timelancer headquarters and get a gem. Okay. So that's the end of that round, round 3. So we will move to the laboratories and to the surveillance, and then we will flip these over, and then we'll be on the tailor next and the bank. So now it's Lee's turn.
Yep, running low on cash, but I'm maxing out all my resources. So let's go to headquarters and let's go to our time machine. So headquarters, grab a time gem. Now, I've got a lot of stuff, so... All right, so my first move, I'm gonna repeat a modern event, so pay that time gem, and I will do Michelangelo paints the Sistine Chapel. So that costs me 1 time gem, and then it's a modern, so I pay weapon, disguise, and a communicator. Boom, boom, whoops. Boom, boom. And nothing's here yet, so I can put this wherever I want. The ability that I'm gonna have is more of an infinite one, or a perpetual one, so I don't have to worry about landing on it, but let's just put it in the middle and see what happens. So that was my second move, pay that. I get $4, so I'll just I'll take the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next move, I am going to repeat a Middle Age event. So paying my gems, and let's get the Moai created on Easter Island. Let's see, so this one lets me pay 1 less attaché case. I just need to pay a med kit, a camera, and a communicator. So got this a little bit cheaper and didn't have to get that resource, so all by design. Let's see. So this is $12.50 and it came before $15.12, so I have to put it anywhere over here. I'm gonna put it here for now and pay that and get my money. So 4 more, I'll just turn one in for 5. And I've completed one of my goals here. So I repeated 2 cultural events. So now one could say I'm in the lead.
One could say that.
One could say that.
He repeated 2 events, so that doesn't cause any flipping. Reveal 2 more, please.
We got
I really wasn't going after those. However, I mean, those were still
Lido
too good.
and
Although
building the
those
pyramid.
were pretty good too. So yes, you could say that Lee took a lead. But no one likes to say that. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm going to go to repeat Middle Ages, which costs me 1 less because I have an ability that lets me pay 1 less time gem. So 1. I'm going over here to Charlemagne. Sorry about that. Charlemagne, I'm repeating it. So once again, nothing else is going to flip. It's going to cost me 1 gun, 2 disguises, and a camera. Paid for that. Repeating Middle Ages, turn that in. Now it has to go after this. They're all constant abilities. So I think right there, because now that Lee has revealed over there, some of those ancients are looking pretty good. So I'm going to reserve Plato writes the Republic here. Set this here. Make sure I can get that one later. 1, 2, and then I need resources again. So I'm going to go to Timelancer headquarters and get a time gem. That was my move. And then I will flip over an event and let's see what else we got. Ooh, another ancient, very nice.
I got Sun Tzu on this one. You know, when you took that event, I was like, I wasn't even looking at it, but then when you reserve it, I'm like, oh, maybe I did want it now. Like,
too bad.
I know, you want what you can't have, I guess. Like, what does
Grass
he
is always green.
What does he know about that
cultural
one that
event
I
is
don't?
always greener. Tailor. So we're going to the tailor now. So I can't go to get those handy dandy disguises. And the bank is there. So that will put a flaw in my plan. I'll have to think about a new path to get those disguises that I need. Okay. It will then go to the jeweler. You don't want to end on the jeweler or the market. Once again, Lee's allowed to do that because who cares about Lee?
You know, these 2 abilities that let me pay less, 1 less weapon, 1 less attaché, I still have resources and time gems. It'd be nice if there were some event showing where I didn't have to go back in the city and get some resources, but there isn't. I looked. So I got to go back. So Timelancer headquarters, grab my time gem. Let's see, I think I'll go to the lab and transport to the engineer because I'll pay $1 to get an upgrade. And what upgrades do is I can now upgrade my time machine. I'll put it here, which remember this is the cost of time gems. So when I use this later on, I will only have to pay 3 time gems instead of the 4. And for my 3, I'll go to the hospital and get 2 med kits.
Okay, so the Enforcer is blocking the tailor, which is where I want to get to at some point. So I am going to go around, sort of. Okay, I'm going to go to the armory because I need a gun. Then I'm going to go to telecoms, spend $2 and get a communicator. I'm going to go to the lab and transport somewhere because I can't go back there. I don't need that. So I'm going to go down here. Let's see how this plays out for me. So I'm going to take a side job, which gives you more points, possibly, if it's good. Okay. You can have up to 4 side jobs. Right now I only have 2. You can have up to 4, but you can keep drawing them. Once you have 4, then you can switch them out and choose which 4 you want to keep. All right, so we're going to the jeweler with the enforcer and to the market with the enforcer.
So, all right, let's go to the locksmith. I will pay $1 and get a time lock and just keep this handy in case events flip. I'll go to the laboratories and transport to surveillance. So this is still my second turn. And I'll pay 3 for 2 cameras. And 2 cameras. And then finally, I'll end at the armory, pay $1 for a gun. Filling up my resources again.
Okay, well, now that the tailor is open, I'm going to go there, paying $1 of my 5 that I have left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 2 these guys holes. I'm going to go to, Timelancer headquarters. Then, now I'm really gonna upset Lee. I am going to revise an ancient event. I pay 1 less. So I'm gonna pay 3 time gems. And I'm going to revise this cultural event, which costs me 1 gun. I pay 1 less disguise, so I have 2 disguises and a communicator. So 375 BCE, which should flip both of Lee's. I'm revising this event, so he has to flip. I'm gonna put it down there.
So I'll just flip one of them. I'll use the time lock that I just got. Couldn't let me have it.
So he can use the time lock to keep his event from flipping, but now he lost that point that was worth. We flipped the city tiles, all the cultural city tiles, so the green ones. I have accomplished my green goal, and I get $6 from that event. So now I believe I have taken the lead one more time. So 1, 2, 3,
Yep.
And yep, Lee's no longer moving hands.
I am not a quarter of the way through.
Job accomplished.
Okay.
All right, and 1, 2, 3. So that's the end of that round. So we will move the enforcers to the surveillance and to the telecoms, and we will flip over new cards. So they will be going to the archives and the jeweler. So I'm 2 goals away from starting the end game. So let's see if I can end this game before Lee can do anything else.
And it's like I didn't even do anything. All right. Let's go back and play with time some more. So I'll get my time gem at Timelancer headquarters. Get my time gem. That's 1. 2, I'm going to repeat a modern. So that flipping actually helped me because now I just pay 1 less time gem for everything, and that's a continual ability. So
well, you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. So no time gems there. I'll repeat a modern, and I'm actually going to repeat landing on the moon. So I pay 1 less attaché. So I just need a health kit and a camera. And it's 1969, it comes after 1512, so I'm actually going to put it here. That was my second move. And on my third move, I go here. I already had the upgrade. I pay 1 less. So really I only have to pay 2. Pay 2. And I also get 2 disguises. 2 disguises. And now I'm actually going to revise this ancient event. So pay 1 less attaché. This, and this. So.
He's resource rich.
Yeah.
Well, he was.
I was. All right. And so this is, I'm revising a social, and it's 336. It's an ancient. So everything yellow flips.
So I have 800, so mine is going to flip, which is really crappy because I really wanted that ability to stay in play. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
So I also get the money from these. So 2 and 5, so 7.
And we now will flip the yellow city tiles because he revised.
And I only did 1 goal there.
So the bank is now a weaker ability, but the archives is better. And the capital goes back to the red side. And this is now a weaker ability for the courthouse. So 1, 2, 3. And Lee's catching up or winning.
Yeah, well, catching up.
All right, so I need the guns back. So I'm going to, thank you, flip a city tile, which doesn't cost me anything because of my abilities, because I need this. So I can flip this city tile, which is an ability in your time machine. So that's 1. Then I'm going to go to headquarters, get a time gem, and I'm going to go to the armory, pay $1, and get the 2 guns from flipping that because I need 2 guns. 1, 2, 3. The end of that round. And now these enforcers are going to move around me. They are circling me, but they didn't catch me. And next round, they will go to hospital and to locksmith.
When I first got events, I was like, oh, if only I could, if only I had enough. I do have enough to still stay in my time machine for this one. So I'm going to revise a modern. So pay 1 less time gem, so I'm only paying 1. And I will do DNA. So 1 less attaché. So all I need is these. I'm revising it. This is 1953. Kenny doesn't have any blues.
I don't have any blues, but you're going to flip your own event.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Okay. It must have been part of his strategy.
So there we go.
So even when you revise your own event, you still flip your own events too. And then we're going to flip the city tiles as well.
I get $2 for this. So I'm still on 1 turn right now.
And this blue tile switches to green. And you still flip the city tiles even if there is an enforcer or a player on that tile as well too. So all the tiles always flip.
All right, so that was 1. My second move is I'm going to take advantage of this. It doesn't cost a time gem. I'm going to reserve an event, but I get 2 things. So I'm going to get a weapon and a communicator. And I'm actually reserving Harriet Tubman event. And then I'm going to revise said event that I just reserved because now I can do it. So 1 less time gem, so just 1. And I pay 1 less attaché and 1 less health pack. So all I really need are the 2 things I just got. So good. Revise. It's red 1863.
That's more recent than mine, so mine doesn't flip. So you only flip events that come after. But the red city tiles will flip. So I'm glad I took my 2 weapons while I could after flipping it, because now it's flipped back.
I get $3 from this, but I'll put in 2 and just take a 5. And pay that. So now I've met that goal and I've met this goal.
Well, that was a big shift right there. So now leaves 1 away. So all he has to do is flipped. All he has to do is flip his one event and he could cause the end game. I don't want that to happen. So let's see what we are revealing. I don't want him to cause the end game. All right, so now I need to do something to disrupt Lee. So I'm going to go to Timelancer headquarters.
You don't have to.
I don't have to, but I need to. Get 1 time gem. Come here, flip my event, which costs nothing. So I'm going to flip Charlemagne back. So I have that pay 1 less disguise ability. And then I'm going to revise Middle Ages, which costs me 1 less. So it's only the 2. And I'm going to revise a science event that should disrupt Lee. So I have 2 guns that pay 1 less disguise and 1 less resource of choice. So I'm not going to do the communicator. And I'm going to put it here. I'm revising it, but it has to go between these. So I can either move this way or move this way. I don't think it really matters. So I'm going to do that, which causes after 904 to flip on science. So flip those.
So I'm
going to flip these city tiles. Okay, then I accomplished my goal and I will get $5. And I would turn these in.
Not gonna lie, that was good.
1, 2, 3. And now I am close to causing the end game and Lee is back to having to figure his plan out.
Hurt a little bit. Hurt a little bit. Okay.
So that's the end of that round. So we're going to move the enforcers to the hospital and to the locksmith. Right there. And where are they going next? They're going to the Capitol and to the courthouse.
I will get a time gem at Timelancer headquarters. I will go to the lab and transport to the armory, so pay $1.
There's a reason? You didn't just...
Because then I'm going to Timelancer headquarters to get a time gem. See what I did there?
See, he wanted to double back, but he technically couldn't. But if you go to the lab first, then he can. I see what he did there. All right, let's see. How can I end this game so that I can beat Lee? Okay. Well, I got to come back to Timelancer headquarters. Pick up a time gem. Then, let's see. I'm going to go to the lab and transport to the market. So lab to market. I'm going to turn in my disguise for 2 guns. I need some guns.
Pow, pow.
Pew, 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 pew. And then I'm going to go to the archives and get 2 attaché cases. 1, 2, 3. All right. So then the enforcers are going to the Capitol and to the courthouse. Where they go next? To the bank and to the laboratories. What you got now, Lee?
Oh, you'll see. You'll all see. No, but that is a good question. Okay. I will reserve an event. Doesn't cost anything, and I get 2 things. I'm going to get a camera and a disguise. That's 1. So, and reserve the event. I'm reserving Darwin. Then I'm going to revise said reserved event. So it costs me 1 less time gem.
I see what he's doing. I see what he's doing.
So I'm revising 1835 science. Anything blue after 1835?
I have 904, so my science doesn't flip.
Look at that.
But the blue city tiles do, and he flipped all of his back.
And I get $4 from this, but let's just call it a 5.
Well, he flipped them all back, so now he's meeting his goal, and they're worth
Then,
more. So that's a very good move. Very good move.
That's back now. And then, yep, last move, flip an event. It doesn't cost anything. I will flip this.
And he's causing the
now-
end game too. So that's just great. Okay, well, let's see, what card do we draw? Okay, that could be helpful actually, because I gotta figure out. I get one move left. He caused the end game. He doesn't immediately end. He caused the end game. So every player who hasn't taken a turn gets to take their turn, which is me. If I had caused the end game, that'd be the end of the game. Or for a 4-player game and player 4 caused the end game, end of the game. But I get a move. And I'm drastically behind Lee on events. He's got 7 and I've got 4. Can't end the game that way. He's definitely got to be winning. So what can I do? Okay, I'm gonna go to the headquarters because I gotta come to the time machine. Then I'm gonna figure out, so I'm gonna do what I was planning on doing, and then I'm just gonna hope that I can afford something. So I'm going to revise the Middle Ages, which costs 2 less, so I pay 1. I'm gonna do this one and revise the First Battle of St. Albans, which is 1455. Now, normally this would cause Lee's event to revise or to flip. However, because he caused the end game by finishing his faction card, he locked in his time machine. So he doesn't have to flip any of his events, even though it normally would have. If he had caused the end game by getting 9 events and not accomplishing his faction card, he would still have to flip his events, because the whole goal of the game, the main goal, is to achieve your faction's goals. So because he did that, he's safe. And yes, we would flip the city tiles. However, I don't think it's that important because it's the end of the game. And I get $3. I'm going to turn in 2 to get a 5. And I got to pay the resources. All right, so it's 1, 2 guns, the disguise, and then the med kit is free. Oops. That's 1. So I still have to figure out if I can afford anything. So I have a free gun, a free disguise, and a free something else. Plus a attaché case. Free gun, free disguise, free something else. Free gun, free disguise, free something else. I think I can only afford one thing, which has to be Marie Curie discovers radium. So I'm going to revise this by going to revise a modern, which pay 2 less, doesn't cost me any time gems, and it's a disguise and a communicator, which means that I don't pay anything for this at all. Once again, it may have cost something for Lee, at least that moon landing, maybe the DNA to flip. However, because he's locked in, he's safe, and I get that, and I get $3. So I'm going to turn in my 2 to get another 5. 1, 2, 3. And that's the end for me. I didn't meet my goal, but I still feel like I made some good moves there at the very end. I think it might be pretty close. So I might have an advantage because I have some good side jobs. That's the end of the game. So once the game ends, what you're going to first do is get out a calculator or pen and pencil or whatever you want to do. And you're going to add up the points on your cards. So you add up the number that's touching the time machine. So there's 2 numbers, one for the repeat, one for the revise. You only get the side that's touching your time machine. So you have 7 plus 5 plus 6 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4. So I have 33 from my events. How many did you get?
34.
34. Ooh, so it's close. Even though he has one more event than me, still close. I'm feeling pretty good about this. So we're gonna look at the faction goals. So I only got 3, so that means I only get 6 points. Lee got 2 more than me on that, so that's not good. You get 1 point from upgrades. I didn't get any, but Lee got 1. You get 1 point from time locks. He had 1, but he gave it away because he wanted to keep something from flipping. Then you get 1 point for every $5. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you get 1 point from every 3 resources left over, but neither one of us have that. And then the last thing you're going to add up are your side jobs. And I got some pretty good side jobs. I got the revised Middle Ages for the military. So I have 2 of those. And I have a revised ancient. So I'm going to get 3, 6, 10 points. from that. So I got 53 points.
I had the revised modern event science events, but I had 3 of those, and they were 3 points each. So 9 total.
So you got 9 from that. So you probably ended up winning on
55.
55. So it was close. It was close. I almost came back in the end. If he didn't have that side job, I definitely would have beat him. And that was our playthrough of Timelancers. We played a 2-player game. This is our game that we created, and we hope you enjoyed it.
Timelancers is going to be coming to Kickstarter soon, so check our description for the date announcement.
If you haven't already, go ahead and go over to Kickstarter, sign up to get notified when we launch.
There'll be a discounted day 1 pledge for first day backers.
We hope you enjoyed our playthrough. If you're enjoying all of our content, please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
And I'm Kenny. I go party like a board gamer. Timelancers is a time travel themed set collection board game that utilizes worker movement and resource management.
It's designed for 1 to 4 players ages 12 and up, and takes about 45 minutes to an hour to complete a traditional game.